Hey, this is Dave from metalepidemic.com. Thank you for checking out our YouTube video. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button below if you like this type of content, and we hope you enjoy the review. So, for this review, Duncan and I have been checking out the new album from Germany's most reliable heavy metal export, Primal...
Rammstein. No? No? Sorry.
No, that was a good guess. But no. I am indeed talking about Primal Fear, Duncan.
That was the next on my list, Dave.
I knew,
it was the next band I was going to say.
Primal Fear's new album, Metal Commando, will be released on July 24th via Nuclear Blast Records.
Metal Commando, by the way, is what you call it when you wear a cock ring and no underwear under a pair of trousers. You're going Metal Commando.
This conversation took a turn there, didn't it?
Strap yourselves in, Dave. This is going to be a long night.
Now, I have a wee bit of a confession to make.
Yeah.
I initially thought we should review this because from the first single I'd heard, I thought this would be a bit of fun. And amongst the waves of death metal and doom we've been reviewing recently, this seemed like it would be a bit of light relief. Well, the joke is clearly on me, Duncan.
I will stress that, in terms of some of the other music that we have been reviewing, this is definitely relief. Relief in that you can sing along.
Oh yes, this is true. It's also an album packed with wall-to-wall bangers, Duncan.
Hashtag bangers, yeah.
Hashtag bangers. Now, if you've never heard Primal Fear before, they are a kind of traditional heavy metal band from Germany, and Metal Commando is their 13th full-length album,
Jesus.
which follows up... Yes, that's correct. Which follows up their 2018 album, Apocalypse. This is the first album to feature former Gamma Ray drummer Michael Ehre. It's also the third to feature the triple guitar attack, Duncan, of Alex Barot, Magnus Carlsen and Tom Naumann, after Naumann returned to the band in 2015. That's right, 3 guitarists. Fuck your bass guitar, we don't need to hear it. So FYI,
there's no bassist on this album.
We don't need a bassist, Duncan.
Oh, no, if you've got 3 guitars.
No.
Let's be honest, they've just picked a more talented bass player to play guitar. Apologies to all the bass players out there.
We're kidding. Matt Sinner, bass player of Primal Fear, we apologise. You are a good bass player. But there is no lack of riffs on this album. That's all I'm going to say. Well, it's not I'm going to say. I'm going to say more, obviously.
Well, hopefully. I'm going to jump straight to the... So what did you give it at 5, Dave?
No explanation, just ratings, Duncan. That's all I want. Yeah, plenty of riffs in abundance. On the album opener, I Am Alive. I kid you not, Duncan, this track had me smiling from ear to ear. From the kind of building lead work that opens the track, and then kicks into gear, and then Primal Fear hit you with one of the grooviest, catchiest anthems on this release. It is catchier than the coronavirus, Duncan.
Oh, you've been holding on to that for a while. I
Yep.
can tell. This is what happens when you primarily review technical death metal, Dave. It's difficult to work that in.
I know, I've been waiting for a while, but the band can use that if they want, in their press releases or, whatever.
I don't know if coronavirus really sells an album, Dave.
I don't know, Duncan. It's getting a lot of press these days. Yeah, so I'd actually say anthems is a good way to describe this album.
Yes,
because
that's the key.
Key word there is anthems. There are so many tracks on Metal Commando that just kind of sink their hooks in and don't let you go. Musically, it's kind of, for me, it's got the kind of traditional vibes of bands like Iron Savior or Rage, Masterplan, Herman Frank. I'm a big fan of Herman Frank. But the kind of guitar tone and the production give it almost a kind of more modern feel. Vocally though, let's just take a second to talk about the vocals.
Soaring high above the trees, Dave.
Oh my god. This is where, for me, this album really shines. Ralph Sheepers is an absolute powerhouse of a vocalist, Duncan. It is no surprise that when I had a little look on the old Tinterwebs, that he auditioned for Judas Priest.
Oh god. Yeah, that would make sense, because he hits a couple of notes that are Halford-esque.
Absolutely, yeah. It has it all, really. Range, tone, grit. A very well-rounded vocalist. And you hear that kind of switch from the kind of seamless switch to like the falsetto to kind of mid-range, to kind of soaring melody in most of the tracks on this release. Along Came the Devil is a really good example of how effective his arsenal is, I suppose. Alongside the kind of mid-tempo chugging groove on this track, his screams on the verses, along with the kind of darker kind of low tones in the chorus, give this track so many hooks. It's ridiculous, to be honest. They sound tight. I mean, like tighter than like a two-fingered Kit Kat, Duncan. I'm talking
Jesus Christ.
Tight.
You've been sitting on these today, all of them.
I don't know where that came from.
Tighter than a two-fingered Kit Kat. There you go, ladies and gents. I'm more of a chunky man myself, but that's just me.
Oh no?
Yeah. Like if you get two chunkies and put them together, it's like and then you hold them up like it's an ordinary Kit Kat, you can pretend that your hand's smaller than it is.
Good to know. It's I suppose it's a sound that's it's not at the forefront of like innovation, but they make it sound appealing. They really do. The Lost and Forgotten, another great track. It's got a big nasty groove riff on it, and he hits a note at the beginning that is just ridiculous. It's unbelievable for a guy that's like 55 years old, and he's been churning out albums like with this band for over 20 years. It is mind-blowing that this guy is still able to sound like this, and his voice hasn't deteriorated over time at all. In fact, listening to their kind of previous releases, I'd argue that his control on this album is better than it's ever been, to be honest. For me, on the album, there was maybe a slight lull in the middle. What was this track called? My Name is Fear. Maybe just a little bit lacking in personality. And then I Will Be Gone, which is the ballad of the album. And I totally understand for the reason for including that in the album. Just wasn't my thing, personally. But thankfully it kind of picks up for the kind of four remaining tracks, with Howl of the Banshee and Afterlife being particular standouts for me. Both very well executed. Howl of the Banshee just kind of nailed the kind of placement of riffs that kind of fit their purpose rather than just being kind of heavy for the sake of heavy. And vocally, absolutely superb. His choice of kind of phrasing and melody are absolutely on the money. As I said, anthems. And then Afterlife, just a kind of straight up headbanger. It's one that will come across really well in a kind of live environment. The album I mentioned earlier about the kind of sound on the album, it's produced by a guy called Jacob Hansen. You may have heard.
Oh, I know this name.
Yeah, you will know his name. Yeah, he's worked with Hate Sphere. Yep. He's worked with Aborted. He's worked with Volbeat. I think he actually did some of the mixing and mastering on the new Catatonia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's done a stellar job on this album, from the kind of gutsier, like heavier tones to the more melodic side of the band. I thought the production really captured the kind of dynamic range really well. What about yourself? What did you make of Metal Commando?
It's interesting you say it's their 13th album, because to me, in a lot of respects, Primal Fear on this album, Metal Commando, sound like a modern band trying to capture a traditional sound.
Yeah,
I say that because of not only that production that you're talking about, which feels fresh and crisp and modern, whilst not like giving way to kind of modern tropes that would maybe make the guitars less traditional in terms of their overall sound and structure. but also vocally. Like, 55. What the fuck?
Yeah.
The dude sounds like he sounds spry and a lot younger than he comes across in the album. I think you're right. I think the key to this one working so well is taking into account, once again, something you said about not bringing necessarily anything new to the fray. Now, this particular style of metal, the kind of traditional heavy metal is what you would call it. I think there are like no shortage of bands at all that do this sound, but they all sound incredibly. No, that's a lie. They don't all sound, but the majority of them sound very cliche. That's just how they fall in. They do. They seem that if you see them live, chances are they're all headbang exactly the same point in a cover song, or guitar. It's a bit cringy, is what I'm saying, Dave. Primal Fear don't appear to have any of that at all. Even when we're saying, yeah, well, here's the stereotypical ballad on the album, which has to be on every heavy metal album. Their placement and their use of it on the album, I really enjoyed, and I thought, maybe slightly unlike yourself, I found it quite a good palate cleanser from what had come before to certainly what was coming after. It's that just that little lull, just that little, we're slowing things down just a little bit before we thunder home at the end. Anthem's the right word. Every single song here has a chorus that you will be singing along with 3 days after listening. They are 100% earworms, every single one of them, and it's a testament to them that they not only to get one or two catchy songs on an album, it's a gift, right? To be able to create an album which like has wall to wall, especially 13 albums in, that right there that's an enduring legacy. And I think Primal Fear more than hit the brief on this one. If you are a fan of like traditional heavy metal, this album is everything you want, like absolutely everything you want, and it sounds fresh. That was the thing that kept kind of catching me in the back foot, is like every song just sounded immaculate. The guitar work is phenomenal. Some of the solos are like difficult not to smile when you hear these guitarists go up and down like the boards as they do. The drummer, bass player tight in the background, just keeping everything going. But to me, it's the vocals that just that's what just sends it over the edge. A good front man on a band like this is what makes or breaks you. If you've got a good front man who I imagine the crowd eats at the palm of his hand when he's doing his thing. He to me is the linchpin of everything going around it. But yeah, Metal Commando, legit. Dave thought he was going to have a little smirk on his face, be a little bit condescending and all the rest. Oh, eat that humble pie, Dave, because Metal Commando. Tell you right now, this is of the albums that you have most recently sent over to me. This is the one I've listened to the most, unabashedly, because it is a fucking easy listen. And it will put a smile on your face. And what more can you ask from a heavy metal album?
This is true. And it's tighter than a two-fingered Kit Kat, Duncan.
Two-fingered Kit Kats. There we go. Who buys a two-fingered Kit Kat?
I don't know.
In a world where you can get a four-finger?
Well, I don't know. I don't know who's buying them, Duncan. I don't know.
Someone is.
Someone is, yeah. When I had to listen to their kind of older stuff, and I realised when I was listening to the older stuff, there was a more of a slight power metal kind of vibe going on, and they hint on it ever so slightly on this album, but I definitely say they've kind of not veered away from it, but there's less of that on this album. It's more kind of traditional kind of heavy metal sound on this one, which I loved. I really dug this. It's an album best played loud. My next door neighbours fucking loved it. And I'd be very surprised.
Davey rocking the new Primal Fear album, aye?
That's right.
Metal Commando, it's it soon.
Hashtag bangers. I'd be really surprised if fans of the band didn't love this as well, to be honest. They've delivered an album that's full of highlights and memorable moments, and I don't think there's much more you can ask for, really, to be honest. Rating wise, what you thinking?
Four-finger Kit Kat, Dave.
four-finger Kit Kat. It's a four-finger Kit Kat.
Yeah, it's definitely 4 for me. I mean, there's very little not to enjoy here.
Yeah.
Even the kind of quieter moments on the album, I think, are strategically placed here to allow that bit of space before the album closes out with just amazing grooves and soaring vocals. So yeah, it's a 4 from this guy.
Nice. It's a 4 from this guy as well.
Nice.
Dug it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. A really fun album. I think you'll get a lot out of this. If you like any of the influences that we mentioned, or if you're just in the mood for an album full of anthems, then it's a no-brainer. Absolute no-brainer.
You've got a sneaky bottle of Jack Daniels over in the corner there. It's needing a wee companion, a wee soundtrack to get you through the drinking. Primal Fear, Metal Commando, get it on.
Yeah, or get it off.
Yeah, okay. This is also, just to stress, the Metal Epidemic endorses safe drinking and be responsible.
That's
Don't
right.
listen to Primal Fear.
Oh, wee two-finger Kit Kat just to soak up the alcohol.
You don't know how alcohol works. This is charming.
If you want to check out the band, check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/Primal Fear Official. That's the review, guys. Thanks for checking it out, and until next time, stay safe. Speak to you soon.
Bye, everyone.